5 Potential Ways to Worship by Krishna's Mercy. Tam padmavaktram daityendraha kadachit strivritah khalaha balam gurugrihayatam dadarsha swayate kshanam grihitva tu kare putram pattika ya sushobhana Murdhni chakrankita patti Krishna namankita darat. Quote, one time that wicked king of the Daityas saw his son of lotus-like face and beautiful eyes, surrounded by women, having returned from the home of the Guru. In his hand, that boy was holding a slate which had the mark of a chakra at the top and the name of Krishna, written with great adoration. Narasimha Purana, 41:35-36. The Sanskrit word adarat refers to offering respect or giving due regards. This word is one way to describe the general feeling of reverence in a worshipper, in someone who has agreed to follow some sort of vow to honor the highest being of all. Through an inherited family tradition, a chance meeting with a spiritually empowered individual, or observing the behavior of someone they respect, this person is inclined towards the way of the Devas, who are the celestials, always aligned with the supreme personality of Godhead. Just how exactly will the adarat manifest? What are the channels through which the worship can flow? In the following analysis, we cover different options and the justification for each. 1. Visiting a temple.
All it took was hearing about the place. Supposedly, this temple was originally a palace. It was a gift from one of the 3 mothers-in-law to Sita Devi after she married Sri Rama. I have not had the opportunity to visit this place, but I would sure like to. The palace later turned into a temple, where the structure stands to this day, with different deities that are offered worship at timely intervals. I feel transported to a different realm simply by contemplating the scene. Sita and Rama living happily together, as they should always be. I would like to live in a similar place, or at least make frequent trips to offer my respect. What could be better in life?
2. Conducting a yagya.
I think you need some excuse. Usually people are not inclined to visit and take part in a worship ceremony unless there is some return. You almost have to scare them. Perhaps you reference some recommendation from a sacred text, advising to follow a certain ritual on a certain day. I am always happy at such ceremonies. I will call an expert priest to officiate. He will oversee the proceedings. Money is not an issue. Whatever they want. No need to be stingy. My only wish is for the Supreme Lord to be pleased. If for some reason he is not, if we are deficient in our observance, we will simply try again. What could be better in life?
3. Performing arati.
Unfortunately, this is all I have time for. I will offer welcoming lights in the morning and the evening. My vow is to continue in arati, in hoping for the good fortune of the Supreme Lord. He is already the most fortunate, Bhagwan, but a little extra prayer can't hurt. It is like a precautionary measure. We wish the best for him, in the manner that the residents of Ayodhya prayed for not a single hair to be harmed on the 2 youths, Rama and Lakshman, when they went with Vishvamitra on official business in the forest areas. Is manai asisahim jay jasupavahu, nhat khasai jani bar gehru jani lavahu. Quote, they pray to God to grant them blessings. May you garner fame and return victorious. May you not lose a single hair while bathing. Janki Mangal, 29.
4. Meditating on an image.
I am traveling at the moment. I only get a few minutes in the day. I have this beautiful image with me. I will meditate on it. I will share my thoughts, my concerns, my regrets, and my remembrances. I will also share my vows, my promises, and my goals for the future. I will give up everything. Just seeing this image immediately strips away my pretensions, my haughtiness, and my false ego. I wish to stay with this image forever. What could be better in life?
5. Writing on a slate. There is the saying, born with a silver spoon in their mouth. A similar saying is, winner of life's lottery. These are not necessarily flattering descriptions. They are meant more as derision to describe the unknowingly good fortune of others. Those people are born into conditions that others could only dream of. There will never be a question of poverty. There is no limit to the enjoyment possible. Resources are anything but scarce. On the surface, it appears that Prahlad Maharaj falls into this category. He was the beloved son of the king of Daityas, Hiranyakashipu. This kingdom happened to have a firm grip on the entire creation. Hiranyakashipu could not be defeated. It was almost like a lifetime contract of protection. If there was full protection, then the lifetime itself could extend indefinitely. Prahlad took birth in these circumstances as a future heir to the fortune of the Daitya dynasty. In consideration of his character, Prahlad appeared in the worst circumstances. His inclination towards devotion was incompatible with the staunch atheism of the father. Hiranyakashipu was in the superior position. In a tug-of-war style negotiation, the more powerful force would win. It was almost like a collision between a truck and a small vehicle. You can only do so much before the laws of physics assert themselves. Prahlad had the inclination for adarat, but it had to be expressed through non-conventional channels. Prahlad managed to worship through the use of his slate. He drew the sign of the chakra. He wrote the name of Krishna. This worship would be seen by others. It would be like someone trying to sneak contraband into a prison facility. The adarat through the slate would get Prahlad in trouble. Quote, in the conditional state, every living being is envious of another living being, but in the liberated state there is an absence of animosity. Prahlad Maharaj was tortured by his father in so many ways, yet after the death of his father, he prayed for his father's liberation by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He did not ask any benediction that he might have asked, but he prayed that his atheistic father might be liberated. He never cursed any of the persons who engaged in torturing him at the instigation of his father. Srila Prabhupada, Srimad Bhagavatam, 3.14.46 purport. Though not a regular visitor to a temple, and not someone who could call a priest to conduct a yagya in honor of Vishnu, Prahlad was worshipping all the same. He was connected to divinity. He controlled his animosity as a result. Meanwhile, the animosity in the father continued to mount, to the point of crossing the line into violence against the most innocent child. Vishnu protected Prahlad the entire time, showing that the adarat was not wasted. It was not towards an imaginary figure, but rather one who could manifest on the spot as the most ferocious lion, if necessary. In closing, from a child appearing like pretend, how name on slate could defend, against father by animosity controlled, despite control over world to hold. Not easy for a priest to call, or in temple with reverence to fall, but that worship legitimate and true, so much to invite nursing who,